Okay, so where did we leave off?
Did we finish immigration or criminal justice reform?
Well, let me click on criminal justice reform and see. Oh god, it's their ugly faces again.
I know, it's pretty bad. Gary Johnson really does look like John Lovitz there, though.
Okay, you know who Bill Weld reminds me of? Do you remember the smoking man from the X-Files?
Oh, yeah, he does kind of look like that.
I knew it was someone.
Like a blonde-haired version of that guy.
Right, so yeah, I'm pretty sure we left out. We tackled immigration for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, so we must have left off here.
Yeah, it looks like we did.
My throat is in defiance of me doing this.
Well, we can do it at a different time if you want.
Oh no, this needs to die.
Well, not die. I mean, so far we haven't been particularly angry about.
Yeah, we're more angry about the fact that we know he's not going to deliver on
well, it's not that he's not going to deliver. It's that it's Bush League bullshit. All right, it's like he has this issues page, and it feels like he only has the issues page because the other candidates have an issues page, and like his issues page makes it sound like libertarianism sprang fully formed from his forehead at some point. But like, there's not a single
like the
link.
Daughter
There's
of
not
Zeus?
a single. Yes, exactly like that. It's like I am the original libertarian. It's like no, you're not. We have a long and storied history of philosophical inquiry, which you were completely ignoring for the purpose of your fucking presidential candidacy. And it's like you say that you want to educate people, but you're doing a piss poor job of it already. How good are you going to do a job if you get elected president?
Well, I mean, how many? Hasn't he mentioned Rothbard and Bastiat at least 20 times?
No, he hasn't
so
mentioned
far?
shit. He hasn't even given us a token Milton Friedman.
That's his name from now on, Milton Token Friedman. That's like the only name you ever. Well, it's the only name that you used to ever hear when people talked about libertarianism in major media outlets. I've actually heard them use the term Austrian lately.
Yeah, but only in the pejorative.
Well, of course. I mean, you can't possibly let the idea that people should be honest and good get out in the media.
Who else was Austrian?
Hitler.
That's right.
Was he actually Austrian, or was he?
I thought he was. I don't know. I don't give a shit about Hitler's personal history.
What? Not at all?
No, not really.
You don't want to know what made the man the crazy person he is?
No,
chocolate.
I also don't.
It was chocolate.
I'm fucked. I am one piece of Hershey's toffee away from Nazism, apparently.
You like look in the mirror tomorrow and you've got that mustache. And you're like holding a Butterfinger as you're looking in the mirror, and it's like halfway to your mouth, and you're like, no!
I was trapped in my own body under the influence of chocolate. I was like a spectator on the inside looking out as I did horrible things.
Mine Kit Kat. Alright, so what does he have to say about criminal justice and its reform?
How is it that the United States, the land of the free, has one of the highest incarceration rates in the world? The answer is simple. Over time, politicians have criminalized far too many aspects of people's personal lives. Then he goes on about the war on drugs.
He capitalized war on drugs. I hate it when people do that. I know it's proper, but
it is a proper noun in the sense that it is a set of specific laws.
I also hate it when people capitalize president and state.
Well, I mean,
but you have to capitalize state so people know the difference.
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. Yeah. Mandatory minimum sentences, taking steps.
He's talking about marijuana for this whole thing, isn't he?
No, he's not. He's talking about nothing really at all. Like there's actually no statement here about what he'll actually do. It's just like I support criminal justice reform. What does that mean that you're going to do? I support criminal justice reform.
Are you going to stop prosecuting non-violent
I
victimless
support
offenders?
Criminal justice reform. Do you have any specific ideas of what you're going to do? Well, just check the links on my page.
What links? He doesn't have any links.
Exactly.
We've been over this though, haven't we?
We have indeed.
Why does Weld get the gold coloring for his name on? You know what else was great about using a BlackBerry phone? And
what's that?
I'm looking at the Gary Johnson and Bill Weld links at the bottom where it's like Gary Johnson is on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. I don't recognize 4 out of 8 of these.
I don't actually see any of them because I have scripts disabled. I just see little boxes that say F09A, F099, F167. It's all just...
It makes more sense than whatever I'm looking at here. There's like a weird squiggly line for one of them.
If I mouse over them, I can see where they link.
There's one that looks like the Liberty Bell. The Liberty Bell.
The Liberty Bell?
Yeah, it's made of liver.
That's Snapchat, isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What is IN? Instagram?
Instagram, maybe?
And then there's a circle with a dot next to it.
That's...
I think
Google
that's...
Plus, question mark?
I think that's contrast and compare.
Okay. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, so this is
He's not saying anything here that we can...
Well, he's saying that he would like for the criminal justice system to be reformed. He just doesn't say how he's going to do that. He wants to end the war on drugs is one thing that he's already talked about, and that clearly would have a big effect. But is that the only aspect of people's personal lives that's been over-criminalized? He doesn't seem to have any other concrete examples. Okay, too many people in prison jail, too many undeserving individuals saddled with criminal records, and a seriously frayed relationship between law enforcement and those they serve.
And he doesn't define who's undeserving. Like I could define that. I could say people who have committed crimes that are victimless are undeserving.
Yes. But he doesn't say that. He's leaving it up to us to make this point for him. I don't know what he's doing. And then he says reduce recidivism, which is totally not something like... Recidivism is... How do you... What? You can't reduce recidivism through... There's no... I mean, is he going... What is he saying there? Is he saying that if someone commits the same crime again after they get out of the jail, we're not going to punish them? Or is he saying that we're going to make it so that... I don't know what that means.
I'm assuming... I would assume...
Is he just assuming that criminal justice reform will have the side effect of reducing recidivism?
I think that's what's going on here.
But he doesn't make any case for that at all, does he?
Well, no. He hasn't made a case for much of anything, really. He's made the case that he really wants to be the Libertarian candidate for president.
Well, he's already the Libertarian candidate for president.
Yeah, so we're beyond that. So he's not doing much after that.
He's achieved all his goals.
All the goals he could ever...
This campaign is...
His goal of being the candidate and having Bill Weld as a running partner.
Those are some top-notch goals.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at Bill Weld is enough for me to think I want this person as far away from me as possible.
Well, D.C. is pretty far away.
Yeah, but we both have a mutual friend there, so it's like...
I guess.
We're connected in that small way to D.C.
Small, insignificant, yet painful way. Yeah, there's no meat here.
We'll have to warn him. Like, avoid Bill Weld.
And if you see him smoking a cigarette, run the other way.
Yeah.
Because he's going to get you involved in some kind of alien conspiracy.
Especially if David Duchovny is there.
Good God. I believe that in political terminology they call that a perfect storm. Okay, so we've got criminal justice reform in which he says nothing other than I want to end the war on drugs, which he's already said. And
there's nothing else we can add.
I really would like it if criminal justice were reformed.
Foreign policy and national defense?
Huh?
Is that the... No, we did that one. Internet freedom. We're on internet freedom.
Internet freedom, which is also going to be empty.
Let's see what the Libertarian candidate has to say about internet freedom. It is no coincidence that the unprecedented innovation and entrepreneurship the internet has allowed, and the resulting improvements to our daily lives have happened largely without interference from the government. All right, Gary Johnson... Wait. Why do they say Gary Johnson has often said here? It's like at first it's like he's talking, and then it's like someone else is talking on behalf of him.
Well, the point is that the whole thing is someone incompetent, more incompetent, talking on behalf of him.
More. Ugh.
No, because I think Gary Johnson, if he had made his website himself, he probably would have done a better job.
Possibly. Do you think he doesn't look at it?
He might not. He doesn't seem to look at anything before he goes on like the media and says really unlibertarian things, and then is like, "But I'm a libertarian." And, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't think a lot of the points that are on this site are very well thought out. Like this one says, "There's nothing wrong with the internet that I want government to fix," and that's a quote from Gary Johnson, apparently.
Yes.
And then after the quote, it says, "Nothing in history has allowed for more innovation than the internet. It has literally changed our world." Well, I can think of one very good example of something that has allowed for more innovation: refrigeration, without which half of the population of America would be dead. So, if not more.
Couldn't we all locally farm and eat food produced locally?
Not if you live anywhere where it's hot.
I don't know. I'm in Albuquerque and I can get lots of good food here.
Yeah, but how much of it can be delivered to you if you can't store it somewhere?
Beans exist.
I mean, I guess if you want to cut back severely on what kind of food you can eat, then maybe not as many people would have to die for my anti-refrigeration stance. But
he says the internet gives everyday people the tools of progress. Nothing could compromise progress more than giving politicians the ability to cut off information, question new technology for their communities.
All right, I agree with that, but what are you going to do that is going to stop the ever-forward movement of the state?
What he is going to do is he's going to disagree with agents of government that want special backdoors.
Okay, and they're going to ignore you.
And then he immediately waffles. He's like, security is important for sure, but throwing away our right to privacy has the opposite effect of protecting our freedom. That's why the Fourth Amendment says the government can't snoop into our private lives unless they have good reason to do so. Trillions of bits of unmanageable data, or by identifying real threats. We support internet freedom. I mean, it's just like... He's not offering any real solution. No, well, he's just saying, if someone wants to regulate the internet, we're going to say no, thank you. And it's like, but like,
you have to do things to prevent that from happening.
Hold on. Okay,
you're not
so
the only branch of government.
He says we disagree that we should. He says that regarding the regulation of the internet by the government, we disagree. Period. Right? And then he says security is important for sure, but then he says that throwing away our right to privacy has the this is muddled. Is what it is. It's like what he should be saying is he should be saying that security is important and government intrusion into the internet reduces security. He doesn't actually say that anywhere. He's just like, security is important, and we can't throw away privacy, and it doesn't protect our freedom to do that. So government can't snoop on us. But and it's like there's no principle behind it. It's just like we think this is better, but we don't really have any strong feeling. It's just so wishy-washy.
Loosely translated, there are people out there that aren't happy about the government being involved in security on the internet, and he's saying what they want to hear. Sort of.
Yeah, almost exactly that.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know if I mentioned this last time. I think security came up in something else we did, where I talked about how the more people try to do security, the worse their security ends up being. Like one day it's, oh, well, we need a name and address, and the next day it's, oh, we need your driver's license, and then it's social security number, and then the next thing you know, all someone has to do is get your information once, and they have everything that they need to pretend they're you.
Yeah.
Whereas 20 years ago, if someone got your information while you were ordering from a Sears catalog, the information consisted of, oh, I have like a check number and your address.
You know what really bugs me about this though is that he doesn't mention the FCC saying that they were going to regulate the internet as what was it, type 1 or type 2 or
that they were just going to arbitrarily reclassify it so that they could regulate it without going through any government channels whatsoever.
That's something that belongs here. That's something that
that
should
happened
be talking
recently
about.
Before this.
That happened way more recently than the cybersecurity legislation. Wait, no. It's not even that the legislation was called cybersecurity legislation. It's got Congress passed so-called cybersecurity legislation, which he doesn't state what the actual like. He doesn't have any details here about what actually.
It's the ease of information problem. You all whenever those things come up, you always have to look them up to understand what they're talking about. So you always know if you're one of the people that looks these things up. You always know when the people that you're talking to or arguing with actually know what it is.
Yeah, well, it's not. He's being unnecessarily vague here. Like, he could say, what act specifically he's talking about, and what specifically. Like, it just like if you don't provide a link or a specific name, if you just say there has been some cybersecurity legislation which gives DC the power to, but like a person can't go onto thomas.gov and just type cybersecurity. Maybe they can.
Yeah, I mean,
but
there could be 1,000 laws on the books, and we don't know which one he's referring to.
And you have to sift through each 1,000-page law to figure out which one he's talking about. I mean, it's like... And then he doesn't even say what he's going to do. It's like, remember, he's running for president, not Congress. So what he should be saying is, if Congress attempts to pass any laws, for cybersecurity legislation, I will veto it. Like, He's being unnecessarily
no,
vague and he's not saying what like he's saying things, but he's not finishing his thoughts.
He is saying something, and it's not a good thing, because what he ends with is keep the internet free, protect privacy, get a warrant. Now here's the problem.
Yeah,
the free market isn't something that you keep free. It stays free on its own unless you interfere. By saying protect privacy, he means he's going to take action, which is not going to...
Yeah, but he doesn't... I mean, like, he can take negative actions by, promoting laws that repeal existing anti-privacy legislation. Like, there are things that the government can do to undo things they've already done.
Yes, but he also says get a warrant, which in itself requires a lot of reform to prevent people from getting warrants easily for things they shouldn't be able to get warrants for.
Well, yeah, there's a lot... Like I said, there's a lot of... It's like a lot of unfinished thoughts. Like, it's like, I think this, but I haven't really thought about it too deeply. But I'm going to write it on my... I'm going to have someone write it for me on my issues page anyway.
And if his platform is that he isn't really thinking that much about things and isn't really going to do much, he'll make a better president than just about anyone.
No, I mean, not doing much is definitely a positive thing for a president. But it doesn't sound like he's going... Like, it just sounds like he doesn't know what he's going to do or not do.
Yeah.
He just has, like, these vague ideas about things. And the problem is that, like...
It would be nice if we lived in utopia. That's kind of what
it's not that. It's like... These liberty issues can be nuanced, right? Different libertarians can disagree on these issues because they can look at them from different perspectives, right?
Yeah.
And like, the problem with having a libertarian that has a completely non-nuanced view of everything is that he will be just as wishy-washy because you'll be able to say, oh, well, this repeals this law, and yeah, it also adds this, but it doesn't add this, and like you can when a person doesn't describe what their particular philosophical arguments are, then you can manipulate them. Like this sounds like someone who could easily be manipulated into doing things that are anti-freedom by intelligent shysters, basically.
Oh yeah, he's the kind of person that would have that evil chancellor following him around, like some dark sorcerer in a back room.
Yeah.
Good morning, Gary. Is everything going well today?
Everything is going well today.
Is the princess safe?
The princess is safe. Protect privacy. Get a warrant. There's just nothing here.
Yeah,
it's like
I've read.
It's kind of sad. Like it's kind of sad that I read.
Well,
these
that
over.
was the problem with him being nominated as the Libertarian candidate. Anyone not Libertarian that's even mildly interested that sees this first is going to be turned off to it.
Oh no, totally. Like this is like. There are really good ideas and there are really nice, neat arguments that you can make in favor of all of these things. And he's not making any of them. He's not even linking to them. He's just saying, like...
Well, he can't waste that. He can't waste all that time. He needs to be educating people.
Waste what time? No. I see what you're doing there. But, I mean, it's so stupid.
No. What's sad is that Donald Trump is more thorough in the descriptions of the things he wants to do, even if they're bad and dumb and unworkable ideas. He's trying to describe things on his website.
Yeah, he's at least got some kind of an idea of what he will do. And honestly, like remember we were looking at his how to make Mexico pay for the wall? He actually had a few alternate methods that he thought, if this doesn't work, then we can try this. And if this doesn't work, then we can try this. And some of those things were actually things that he, as president, could at least hypothetically move toward doing to a certain degree. lobbying to change tax policies for returning money to Mexico to increase the tax on that is something he could lobby for that tax change. That's something he could do.
Yeah,
and that would actually work. Like I mean, if you because I mean the Supreme Court has already said that the Congress has the power to tax basically whatever the fuck it wants. Thanks, Obamacare. So like, you know, if Congress says that it wants to tax, cash transfers out of the country at an increased rate, then it can do that. It's already been stated to be constitutional, unless the Supreme Court members are all hypocrites. Wait, that might also be true. Anyway, I kind of get the feeling that like this page is the web page equivalent of Gary Johnson getting up in your face and waving his hands and going, "Liberty, woo!"
That's about all I expected from him as a candidate, though. That's
It's just so sad. Like, John McAfee would do a much better job than this.
Yeah. Even if he was crazier than Donald Trump, he'd do a much better job than this.
Anyway, should we go on to the next one? Environment?
Yeah, we can't... There's nothing to be said here either, other than we are severely disappointed. So, environment.
It's a precious gift and must be protected.
Oh boy, that sounds like a free market position.
The first responsibility of government is to protect citizens from those who would do them harm, whether it be a foreign aggressor, a criminal, or a bad actor who harms the environment upon which we all depend.
How are we going to how are we going to define harming the environment? That's the problem.
Well, right. I mean, like,
somebody walked on the grass. Get him.
Well, it's not just that. It's like these environmental policies always come from this notion that the only way to deal with the environment as environmental issues is to heavily regulate industries. But we already know that's not true, because in the early days of the Industrial Revolution, people were getting injunctions against factories. And those injunctions went away because the government said, oh, well, we can't have a farmer standing in the way of industrial progress. There are already perfectly good libertarian arguments for how to deal with the environment that don't actually involve any sort of preemptive regulation. And, I guess we should read on, but I kind of get the feeling that he's just going to, enforce reasonable environmental protections. Second paragraph.
We need to stand firm to protect our environment for our future generations, especially those designated areas of protection like our national parks.
This is another thing. Like, imagine if you were talking to someone 200 years ago, and they were like, man, I really wish I had air conditioning and refrigeration and running water and clean water and this and that and the other. And there's, and computers. And you're like, well, I mean, you could have those things, but it would cost you like an entire degree Celsius in global temperature. And they'd be like, wait, what?
well, we don't have to imagine that 200 years ago. That's what we do to third world countries.
Well, that is true.
We tell them that they can't be first world countries because they'll hurt the environment. We do that now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like American policy. We do that while waving our toasters and air conditioners in front of them. Yes.
We dangle irradiated fruits in front of them that last for a week at room temperature, and tell them, "Oh man, this fruit is so delicious. You guys can't have any though." Let's see. Johnson does not believe the government should be engaging in social and economic engineering for the purpose of creating winners and losers. Preventing a polluter from harming air, water, or air is one thing. The economy.
But he doesn't say specifically what any of that means, because you can prevent a polluter from you can define what harming air and water is as something that it might not be, and then you can say you're preventing a polluter. And
it's a game of definitions, and we all know that the left is very good at playing games of definitions.
I don't think they're good at it. I think that the right is just very bad at not argue. Is very bad at they're very bad at not capitulating, because the arguments that the left gives are always stupid, never thought out, never.
But like,
it's all emotional based.
This is another plank where he's like, I as your president, I, Gary Johnson, do solemnly swear to be manipulated by bad actors who are working behind the scenes to make your life worse. It's like, this is not what I... No, I...
Well, they're so overgeneralized statements, too. Like how many times has he repeated the equivalent of the government... Okay, he says, Johnson does not believe the government should be engaging in social and economic engineering for the purpose of creating winners and losers in what should be a robust free market. Almost that exact same sentence in some form or another can be found in, like, 5 of the other things we've read through.
Yeah.
We get it. If you understand anything about what he claims to be...
But like, the way he says it gets a little bit more obtuse every time, so it's like, at some point you're like, I wonder if he even understands what that means.
Well, he didn't write this, so...
No, I know. He has no idea.
Like, I like to think that maybe he is like this thoroughbred libertarian, and one day he looks at his website and he's like, what have you guys been doing?
Oh my god, what happened here?
But
what do you mean there's not a single link to an outside source on my entire issues page?
We're the underdog. We have to provide information.
We need to educate people. That's what we're working on.
He's like, I knew I shouldn't have.
If he looked at this and approved it, I can't vote for him. That's how bad it is.
Yeah. Like, he's just in an office somewhere, leaning back in his chair, saying, "I knew I shouldn't have left this website designed." No,
he's not even. He's not even saying anything. He's just like balancing his pen on his upper lip while making noises, and he's just like.
And he wants to get on a debate stage with Donald Trump.
He's gonna get his clock. He would get his clock cleaned by Hillary Clinton.
Oh God, you're right. He would. And
like, it's so bad.
She'll get her clock cleaned by Donald Trump. So it's like,
well, it depends on how the moderator works it, right? The moderator's going to be strongly pro Hillary. So like, no matter what moderator,
she's not necessarily a horrible debater. She's just horrible in the face of an oncoming storm like Donald Trump. So the moderator's going to make all the difference.
Yeah. If the moderator if the moderator just cuts off his ad hominem nonsense, then that'll have a pretty big effect on the outcome of that. I mean, it's a moot point because they're both just yelling really bad ideas at each other. But I mean, this is so bad. Like I went through the last week and I was like, maybe it's not so bad. And then I come back to it and say, no, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. Are we done with environment?
Well, I didn't read the whole thing yet. So let's see. In a healthy economy, blah, blah, blah. Yes, he repeated that sentence in the next paragraph.
I know.
He says the government shouldn't be engaging in social and economic engineering. And then he says, in a healthy economy that allows the market to function unimpeded.
Oh, do you remember that Chomsky bot that I sent you a link to that one time?
Yes, I do.
That's what it's like. It's like the Johnson
We're reading
bot.
The Johnson bot.
You just give it a seed word and it spits out a bunch of fairly.
I think I might make one.
Unobjectionable, semi-pro-libertarian gobbledygook.
Well, I want to make one, but I feel like I'd be too lazy to get it done before the election, and by then it wouldn't matter.
No, it's not going to matter. Johnson will believe that politicians are having the wrong debate. The critical question is whether the politicians' effort to regulate, tax, and manipulate the private sector are cost-effective or effective at all. How do we protect our resources and environment for future generations? Governors Johnson and Weld strongly believe the federal government should prevent future harm by focusing on regulations that protect us from real harm.
So they're going to interfere with they're going to impede the market.
Just in a way that they think works better. It's incrementalism. It's just stupid.
I like the sentence where he says, too often Washington, D.C. gets involved, and the winners are those with the political clout to write the rules of the game, and the losers are the people and businesses actually trying to innovate. He just described democracy. It's like, we win, we get to write the rules.
But we have some good ideas, but you lost. Damn it.
I love democracy so much because it's just it's this great game of people saying, yay, our guy won, and now he's going to write the rules to do this, and then the next person comes in and it's not the person they like, but the person uses those same rules that were written to do things they don't like, and now they don't like those rules anymore.
And everybody acts like they couldn't see it coming.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you thought that he wasn't going to use the power that you were happy to give this person for himself? I could not have
foreseen this. Unintended consequences. It's like I've heard said, easily anticipated consequences are not unintended. Speaking of which, let's go on to education.
Well, seeing as how it's coming from Gary Johnson, I'm not expecting much here. There's video. The first thing is a video.
I don't see the video because I have...
The video is called Let's Get Small. I am not sold on his ability to educate.
I'm not sold on his ability to put together decent YouTube videos.
Okay, Gary Johnson worked tirelessly as governor to have a more substantive discussion. He worked tirelessly to talk about providing good education.
He didn't actually talk. He just tried to promote better talking. He's like 4 levels removed from actual positive change.
I glossed over it. I'm going to read this whole sentence for posterity, just so anyone that might...
Just so that it's there.
Yeah, just so it's there, so that
forever.
As we're laughing about how ridiculous this statement is, it's fully in people's heads.
Okay.
Governor Gary Johnson worked tirelessly as a governor to have a more substantive discussion about the best way to provide a good education for our children. That sentence says... He worked tirelessly to push
talk better
for
about
better talking,
maybe thinking
about maybe having
about
better education
better ways
for children.
to provide a good education. That's a masterpiece.
He did so while working with an overwhelmingly Democratic legislature, and despite fierce opposition from powerful special interests. He pushed for better talking about things against all odds.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing full well that the establishment would resist calls for change, he nevertheless advocated change. That's actually not what it says, but I mean...
I know, I'm reading it too.
I knew that they would resist, but I advocated nonetheless.
Competition makes education better. More...
I like how they say competition he believes will make our education...
I know, it's great.
It kind of makes you feel like he's not sure.
It's so wishy-washy. It's like, well, it's not even I think. It's I have faith that competition will improve our institutions.
Yes, it makes
when you
it sound
can make
so
a fairly
theological.
strong logical case that competition that the result of competition is improvement of these sorts of institutions.
Oh, well, it's not just that. It's like it's a big difference between his site and, say, Donald Trump's site. It's like which of these? Oh, okay, I'm going to read 2 sentences.
Okay.
Competition, he believes, will make our public and private educational institutions better. All right, that's one sentence. Now I'm going to read another one. Competition will make our public and private educational institutions better. Which of those sentences sounds more like it comes from someone with leadership skills?
Probably the one that doesn't involve a needless equivocation.
Yeah. And that's like a major difference between his site and Donald Trump's. That when we were reading Donald Trump's, he didn't do that at all. He didn't say "I think" in his platforms at all. He was saying, "This is what I'm going to do. This is what will happen. This is what we should do. This is how we fix things."
Yeah.
There's none of
even
that.
Hillary Clinton did that.
Yeah. Even Hillary Clinton's website was
was like we need. I mean, a lot of the things that she said she was pretty obviously not going to do, like the part where she's going to just like take all of the nonviolent drug offenders and stroke them gently on the heads and tell them to go on their way.
Yeah.
like that was just a lie.
But she still said it with conviction.
But she still said it in a more convincing way than this. Yikes.
Most importantly, Governor Johnson believes that state and local government should have more control over education policy. Decisions that he believes that they should.
Yeah.
Why should they? Tell me why they should. That's the thing you need to do.
Yeah, I know, right? Like again, it's one
it
of those
shouldn't
things...
be he believes. It should be they should, and here's why.
They should, here's why. And the here's why can be a link. Like he doesn't need to write his own essay. Other people have already done. This is the thing, because it's like
the work has been done. He can link to the work.
It's like,
and that would educate people as to who talks about this stuff.
Yes, and it would give them an opportunity to look at something that he didn't write. Something written by someone else that he agreed. Because like
if he linked to like Jeff Deist or something.
Yeah,
it's like nobody knew who nobody that was coming here reading this knew who Jeff Deist was, maybe.
And now they know the people that are coming here reading this know who Jeff Deist is, because there are probably a lot of people like us.
Some of the people
who are libertarians are like, should I actually vote for Gary Johnson? And then they look at this and they're like, no, I should not.
I think that's all the people that are looking at this site, honestly. We're not doing anyone any help here by recording this. That's the best part.
No, I think we're doing a lot of good, because we can at least make those people laugh at how bad this is.
Yeah,
oh my
laughter
God.
is good. Laughter is very good.
Gary Johnson believes that laughter is the best medicine.
I mean, I did it subconsciously there. I said laughter is very good. I didn't say I believe laughter is very good. I don't even consider myself someone that's a leader.
If you say something, then it is that if you say something and you don't deliberately quote someone else, it can be assumed that the thing that you are saying is what you think, what you believe, or what I mean, like it's bad. It's just bad from a writing perspective too. Okay, he wants to eliminate the Federal Department of Education. He wants to get rid of national standards on local schools because they're bureaucratic and they compromise their ability. But he doesn't say why or how. No. He's like Common Core compromises our ability to provide our children with a good education. But he doesn't give any actual details. He's just like, if you don't already believe this, then I got nothing for you.
Yeah.
It's stupid. There's a million stories. He had a blank about internet freedom, and he can't surf the web for 5 minutes to find a fucking link to put up someone's story about how Common Core fucked up their goddamn school. This is ridiculous. It's pissing me off. I can't take it anymore.
I can't believe you're getting angrier at this than Hillary and Trump. That's how bad this is.
I want to agree with this. I was hoping that we were going to look at this, and I'm like, you know what? I can feel good about placing a vote for Gary Johnson. But no, Giant Meteorite 2016 all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to anyway.
Change
but
we can hope for.
Even if there was a part of me that was like, yeah, this is a step in the right direction, it would have been killed right there.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's like, it's so bad. It's like, if this is what the Libertarian Party wants to put up, then the Libertarian Party does not deserve power.
Yeah.
Period.
That's
End
pretty
of
much
story.
how I feel. Like he actually does say one thing in here. He says that he believes we should eliminate the Federal Department of Education, which
yes.
I'm all about, but he doesn't say how or why we should do that.
That's my point. It's like oh my God, it's so stupid, right? Like,
well, it's like, what if there's a really good case?
Education money comes like, okay, here's how this works. What is your state income tax? Pretty small, right? What is your federal income tax? Pretty big by comparison, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what happens is that the federal government grabs a bunch of money from the states and takes it away. And then the way they do is they dole that money back out to the states in ways that they can use to socially engineer the states. That's how the Department of Education works. That's how they get their money. The Department of Education gets its money from our federal income taxes, and those federal income taxes are then doled back to the states. I mean, just eliminating the Federal Department of Education wouldn't help, because that would just mean that all that money that's taken from the states no longer gets back to the states. You need to replace it with something, or you need to do something, or you need to come up with a law that says that federal income taxes will be returned to state education facilities at a rate of such and such, which matches the rate as of 2015. I mean, there's so much missing here that should... I mean, you can't be the ruler of the free world and not have a plan.
Maybe he thinks this is a plan.
At least the building blocks for a plan.
Do we have a starting point? We're working on it. I believe we will have a starting point.
You can't build the Lego house without the individual Legos. You need the Legos, and you can you can take the Legos and you can make a house, or you can make a spaceship, or you can make a boat. But the point is that you have the building blocks. There aren't even building blocks here.
Yeah, he's talking about which color building blocks would be cool to have.
If only we could have building blocks.
Johnson and Weld believe that the key to restoring education excellence in the U.S. lies in innovation, freedom, and flexibility that Washington, D.C. cannot provide. Yes, that's what it...
Every word in that sentence should be a hyperlink. Except for Johnson and Weld, maybe.
Yeah,
Key, restoring, education, excellence, U.S., innovation, freedom, flexibility, Washington, D.C. Those should all be hyperlinks to things that support the thesis that they're trying to feed us.
Well, the link in Washington, the Washington, D.C. link should just be a link to a picture of a pentagram.
Keep resources close to home, innovate, and educate our future generations. It's just, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Do you remember when the rest of the world considered America the most educated place on the planet. Do you remember those days?
Yeah, before we had an education system.
Before we had a public education system?
Yes.
When everyone was educated privately?
Or self-educated?
Or self-education?
When we had like a... I mean, it was like... You know, look at de Tocqueville's, you know, writings on early America, and it's like he's like, these people are the most well-read goddamn hicks I've ever seen in my life. You know, it's like yes, they're not French aristocrats, but they've actually read the classics, and they can speak, you know, Latin and German and French, and you know, it's like. And now we have you know, public education systems that hold on to you for 13 to 14 years if you count preschool and kindergarten, and you have almost nothing at the output because you don't have any marketable skills. Most people that get out of high school don't have any actual mathematical skills or English skills or alternate language skills. I mean, there's just nothing. It's
at
just
the
a
end of
vast
13
wasteland.
years. At the end of 13 years, some of them can read.
Yes. I mean, most of them can read. Not at a 12th grade level. Maybe a 5th grade level.
No, more. I'd say more than 5th grade. I'd say that we're still hovering at about a middle school level. People can read when they... Most people...
But majority. Remember, you have to think majority,
I'm
right?
thinking majority...
You think 8th grade, maybe?
Yeah, like 8th grade.
51% of people are at the 8th grade level or higher?
Well, okay. I don't know how to define 8th grade.
It's abysmal!
It really is, though. It's
inexcusable. It is proof. It is... No, the whole... I mean, you can draw a trend line of money spent, federal money spent per student on a per, you know, versus year, and then you can put, you know, any objective qualifier which describes a certain amount of educational, you know, ability, and those numbers those lines go in opposite directions. One goes up and one goes down. The problem with education is not that we're throwing too much money at it, or not that we're throwing not enough money at it. It's that we're throwing too much money at it. Turning
it into a boondoggle instead of actual education.
Right.
It is a game of how can we get money out of this,
and how can we hire 15 more administrators to, you know, deal with rules that have to deal with what percentage of income has to go to the male sports teams versus the female sports teams versus the whatever.
And making sure that those administrators are nice and cozy so that they can educate people on why they should vote for continuing to give them money
in order to fill out those papers and make those very important decisions.
Yeah, it's like... I'm pretty sure I could have done that work when I was in 5th grade.
Oh, no, you told... I mean, yeah, that's what...
Of course.
These guys are not part of the 51%.
Yeah, no. That's why they're school administrators.
Yes, exactly.
Have you ever talked to them?
Yes.
Like, what was his name? The one that began with K in our school. Our superintendent.
What was his name? I don't remember.
Oh my god, the man was a moron.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Couldn't add, couldn't read, couldn't write a memo.
Well, no, I mean, they have
he had people write memos for him.
Yes. I think we're done with education, aren't we?
Well, the rest of America seems to be.
Yeah, basically.
All right, what's next? Abortion?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, let's talk. That's an important issue for the Libertarian platform. Let's go ahead and talk about that.
It's not
approach to governing is based on a belief.
Hold on. No. It's like, what exactly can the president do to promote or discourage abortion?
I don't know, lock up women?
Well, I mean, I can think of a few things, right? Like his Supreme Court picks might maybe have an effect on that. And the kind of speeches that he gives and what he says will also but those are all, this is one of those things where everybody has to talk about it, but it's a total non-issue. Like the abortion issue hasn't really moved much in the last 40 years. Basically, it has been. I mean, it's moved a little bit here and there, and there have been little tiny bits of pushback, but there hasn't been any large scale federal effort to actually, make abortion illegal. There have maybe been some small efforts to send it back to the states, but that wouldn't really even work without a constitutional amendment. by the way that based on the way that the Supreme Court decided Roe v. Wade. So I mean, it's kind of like this is just spitting into the wind. It's like this is a plank that will make some people angry no matter what you write in it, and like you're just better off. I don't know. Let's see what he writes and see how objectionable it is.
All right. Governor Johnson's approach to governing is based on a belief that individuals should be allowed to make their own choices in their personal lives. Abortion is a deeply personal choice. Why does he need the word deeply there? I almost feel like it's inappropriate. Anyway, Gary Johnson
he needs an adverb.
Gary Johnson has the utmost respect for the deeply held convictions of those on both sides of the abortion issue. It is an intensely personal question and one that government is ill-equipped to answer. As someone in government, he's going to attempt to answer it. On a personal level, Gary Johnson believes in the sanctity of the life of the unborn. As a governor, he supported efforts to ban late-term abortions. Okay. However, Governor Johnson recognizes the right of a woman to choose as the law of the land and has been for several decades. That right must be respected, and despite his personal aversion to abortion, he believes that such a very personal and individual decision is... We're almost done with this, and he hasn't said anything yet.
No, he said, please love me. Please like me. Whoever you are, whatever you think, please... I'm not saying anything objectionable here.
Yeah, he's playing both sides on this. He's trying to meet in the middle on something that you can't meet in the middle on.
No, you can. I mean, you can. This is the middle stance. This is the only real middle stance. Is like. Well,
I disagree with it, but it's okay if you do it.
Yeah, basically.
How would it be the middle from the other side? I think you should be able to do it, but I don't disagree that you. I can't consider it a middle stance if I look at it.
I guess you're right. Yeah, it is
that way.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where like, yeah, it's just philosophically lazy. Is what it is. It's like, I don't want to offend anyone regarding abortion. Please do not use my stance on abortion as determining whether or not you will vote for me. And to Johnson, I can honestly say your position on abortion has no bearing on whether or not I will vote for you.
He didn't have to put his position on abortion. He could have just said that he's not going to do anything to force women not to get abortions. That's all he has to say.
Yeah.
He feels strongly. Look at how many times he's done this. Okay,
yeah.
I'm just going to go through the whole thing and point those out. Okay, first paragraph. Based on a belief.
Belief, yeah. Deeply personal.
Deeply held convictions is the second part.
Deeply held convictions. Intensely personal.
No, that's referring to other people.
Oh, it is, yeah. Okay, there's believes in the sanctity.
Believes in the sanctity.
There's
recognizes the right.
There's he believes that such a very personal blah. He feels that each woman blah.
Yeah, and then the last one feels strongly that women...
And it's implied here, but he feels that the government should not be in the business of blah.
So Governor Johnson feels strongly that women seeking to exercise their legal right must not be subjected to prosecution or denied access to health services by politicians in Washington or anywhere else. Correct me if I'm wrong, but... From a free market standpoint, isn't a big part of what people are complaining about in terms of abortion that the whole crybaby, why can't I get a free abortion whenever I want kind of thing?
No, I mean a lot of people. Okay, so like, well, honestly, I don't know for sure, but the stuff that I hear is mostly about like okay, so Texas just passed a law that I think got struck down, where they were saying that like abortion facilities have to have certain types of licensing. That made it a lot harder to run an abortion facility, basically. So it's like, it's one of those things that's kind of funny. Like when you really kind of like dig down at it a little bit, there's a bunch of people that are sitting in Texas, and Texas passes a law that makes it marginally harder to get an abortion, and they're like, well, you can't do that, and then at the same time. There's someone who wants to pass a law. There's someone that complains about the tax code, and they're like, "Well, if you don't like it, you could just move."
Or better yet, someone who says you can't do that, but then they're like part of a union.
Yeah.
Which does exactly that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you try starting a car company sometime? Go for it. See how far you get.
Good luck.
Guess what? Making it slightly harder for those clinics is the exact same thing as what the government has done for the car companies that has made entry to that sector impossible.
Car companies, computer companies, healthcare companies,
Pharmaceutical companies. It's the
there's
exact
a long
same
list.
thing.
It's the same thing. And then there's the whole my body, my choice, but you don't get to choose if you like, but then there's the same people that are against the war on that are for the war on drugs, or people that they're like, my body, my property, my choice. And it's like, well, can I have a gun? And they're like, no.
Can I open a restaurant and let people smoke in it? No.
No. It's one of those things where there's just this massive blind spot in most, in like 95% of people have this weird, like, they're on one side or the other blind spot of this blind spot, and like it's really weird. It's just really strange.
Well, I mean, anyone that's going to tell me that I can't do what I want with my person or property, and then is going to turn to me for support on... okay, like, abortion is probably the best example. I don't have to worry about abortions. I'm never going to get one.
That's all right. It's covered in your health plan.
Oh, I know it is. I'm paying for it, but I don't have to worry about that. So I'm not going to interfere, but I'm also not going to meet you on the issue anywhere, so long as you're telling me that I can't open a restaurant and let people smoke in it, or
right.
I can't do this to my body or that to my body. If you're going to tell me that, or I can't own a gun, if you're going to tell me what I can and can't do with my person and my property,
well,
you're not getting any help from me when it comes to your person or your property. You're on your own.
It's like people that complain about how the government is really is really bad on like the Fourth Amendment and like illegal searches, and then you're like, well, can I carry a concealed weapon without a license? They're like, no. And then it's like, wait, what?
Then, I mean, for someone who says that, why should I care if a policeman busts down their door?
Yeah, exactly.
Breaks in, beats them, and then says, "Oh, sorry, wrong address," and leaves.
Shoots their dog, stomps on their cat.
And knocks the baby's crib over after throwing
Throws
a grenade in it.
Into it. Yeah.
It was a flashbang?
Yeah, it was a flashbang.
Somehow
I mean, a flashbang is still pretty bad as a contact weapon because it's like burning magnesium. So
yeah.
For the poor child, it was a grenade. Basically, it was.
Yeah.
It was a.
Did it kill the child?
No, it didn't. It disfigured the poor kid, like really badly. The kid had to have like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of surgery and stuff.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars? Okay, so we need to talk about healthcare problems.
Well, fortunately, that's not a plank here.
Wait, wasn't it?
No, I don't see it. Wasteful spending, taxes, term limits, jobs, civil liberties, foreign policy, immigration,
like the
criminal
biggest
justice,
threat to our
freedom,
economy?
environment, education, abortion, and war on drugs.
The biggest threat to our economy. The Libertarian candidate is not talking about the biggest threat to our economy.
You mean the Federal Reserve?
Well, next to the government itself. Healthcare. Healthcare is...
I don't know. You realize that for a libertarian, he's actually not talking about the Federal Reserve or healthcare?
Oh my God! He's not talking about the Federal Reserve either.
No, there's nothing in there about it.
Taxes. That's it. That's all he's got.
Well, he talks about implementing a tax that will only be implemented if Congress abolishes the 16th Amendment, which will never. We already talked about this, right? It's like I, Gary Johnson, hereby support a law that will never take effect. Okay.
He titled his video "Let's Get Small," but does he know how to start small?
Well, I mean, I don't think starting small is an issue.
He should have like just come out in a parade, like on a floating bed of flowers, with his arms outstretched and a paper rainbow in the background, and said, "I will bring you utopia." Because he's got nothing else.
He doesn't have anything. The else is not a. He doesn't have that because he didn't do that. He's not even promising that. He's like, I guess I'll veto things, and I don't have any real concrete ideas or principles.
I'm not sure liberty. What I'll veto.
Well, I mean, if someone can convince me that a certain environmental protection is necessary, then I won't veto that. But they'll have to convince me.
If someone's smarter and more able to,
if someone smarter and less scrupulous than me talks to me, then I will totally become less scrupulous. It's like is the blank canvas candidate. Jesus.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how hard it's going to be to find someone smarter than him in Washington. I'm sure that dark chancellor is right around the corner waiting for him.
What do you mean? you're using the singular, and I think that is your main problem.
Dark Chancellors.
Many Dark Chancellors.
The Council of Darkness.
Let's not.
No, we were the League of Darkness.
We're the League of Darkness. They're the Council of
Council
Darkness?
of Darkness, totally different.
Okay, fair enough. Are we done with abortion? Because I don't want to talk about abortion anymore.
Yeah, we're aborting this abortion.
Let's
I
go on to
actually
his
closed the
final
page
plank.
a while ago.
Am I crazy? Is this his final plank, War on Drugs?
The War on Drugs is his final plank, even though he's brought up the War on Drugs like 8 times.
7 times already. And it's just like 5 paragraphs. Wait, oh my god! And they're not even real paragraphs. Like 3 of the paragraphs are like 2 or 3 sentences. Like
Wasn't this
like,
his biggest thing?
No. Well, I mean, it is, but it was 8 years ago when it was edgy to be against the war on drugs. But now it's kind of not so edgy anymore. So he's just like, oh yeah, I'm also in favor of that and have been for a long time.
The first thing he says is legalizing and regulating.
No. Hold on. I just need to make note of something that really kind of frightens me a little bit. Most of these planks are shittily written 5-paragraph essays. Like, you remember how we learned the 5-paragraph essay thing in school for how to write, an argumentative essay?
No, I didn't bother remembering anything I didn't find useful.
Well, I mean, I remember it in the sense that I see it as an example of what not to do.
Unless I was taught it as writing block letters.
No, but I mean, it's like you have 1 paragraph to like put out your thesis, and then 3 paragraphs of supporting information, and then 1 summary paragraph at the end. It's like the 5-paragraph essay.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. That's what these are. These are shittily written 5-paragraph essays.
5th grade education.
It's below 5th grade. Like the first paragraph, his thesis paragraph, is 1 sentence here for War on Drugs.
So we know where his reading level is.
And like his conclusion isn't actually a conclusion. I don't know what I mean. It's not really. It's like someone in high school wrote this or something like that. It's really bad. And so here he goes on the war on drugs, and he's just talking, and that's one of the things that he's done that has also been really irritating, is that he's went from being anti-war on drugs to being anti-war on marijuana, which are two totally different fucking
paragraph,
things.
He's saying that he does not support the legalization of other recreational drugs that are currently illegal. This was supposed to...
He gave up the libertarian point of you own your body and what you put into it. He gave it up. He's like, oh, I don't want that. I just like pot because it's popular. Like,
he's a conniving jackstaff.
Yeah, basically.
He's a conniving jackstaff. Bill Weld and Gary Johnson are jackstaves.
They are jackstaves. The federal government should not stand in the way of states that choose to legalize marijuana. But what about a state that wants to legalize cocaine, heroin, opium?
Should they stand in the way of it? Should they go to war with Ohio?
They'll beat those people down and shoot their dogs and stomp on their cats. Yes.
And then say wrong address.
No, it's not even that. I mean, like, the legalizing drugs issue, if you cut it down to just marijuana, you lose the other important plank, which is not other recreational drugs. It's drugs that haven't yet been approved by the FDA. Do you know how many tens of thousands of lives you could save if you just said, yeah, you can put whatever you want in your body?
No, I don't, because it's inestimable.
Yes, of course. Because all of the people that are currently waiting on these drugs to get through 10 to 15-year testing cycles in the FDA are dying. They are dying, and they can't test their drugs out, except in a very small number of states that have started to allow this to happen. But here, Gary Johnson doesn't seem to be particularly supportive of that either, which is something that he could say. He could say, we also support right to try laws. It's so stupid.
He could say anything at this point. Just give me something, and I'd be a little happier.
He just comes off as a goddamn pothead.
I suspect that's what he is, to be honest.
I know he is.
It was
like when he somewhere he said that he had quote stopped smoking marijuana, end of quotation, because he wanted to be quote knife sharp, end of quotation, for the presidential run. And then I read the article, I'm like, oh, that sounds like, at least he's kind of getting serious. And then like someone in the comments was like, yeah, he said stop smoking, he didn't say stop eating. And then like 3 days later there was an article that was like, these are my favorite marijuana brownies. It's like, oh, god damn it. Like this war on drugs thing, like if we just look at it and believe it, it's actually probably worse than Hillary Clinton's.
It is, no, it is, because he's not going to do anything that...
No. If we look at it and we believe it, right? That was my stipulation. Because Hillary Clinton is like, we shouldn't prosecute people who are nonviolent drug offenders. And she didn't even limit it to marijuana. She's like, we shouldn't prosecute people who are nonviolent drug offenders. And here he's like, well, everything except marijuana should still be illegal.
The Libertarian candidate
we should try to rehabilitate people if we can, but we don't really have a strong stance on it. It's so bad!
This is kind of what I meant. I think it was when we were talking about Bernie Sanders, and I said that he doesn't come off as very libertarian to me. I mean, I never heard him talk, and you did. And you said he sounded pretty libertarian when he was talking, right?
That was 8 years ago, or 4 years ago, or something like that. He gave a talk at Austin while I was there, and I went to it, and I listened to him. And, he did sound kind of like, he was definitely pro-pot then, and nobody else was. So, then it was like, wow, that's refreshing. But, now everybody's pro-pot, so it's like, no one... Hey, Gary, I hate to tell you this, no one fucking cares that you're pro-marijuana. Everybody else is now, too, pretty much. Except for a couple 100,000 bureaucrats in the DEA. Everybody else is pro-pot. No one else cares now. You're not unique anymore. And it
shows.
Yeah, and it shows. It's so bad. It's just so bad.
I just want to know what was going through people's heads.
I can't believe that in the war on drugs plank for the Libertarian fucking Party, right to try laws aren't mentioned. That is fucking excusable. It's not. No, he is indirectly whitewashing the deaths of tens of thousands of people every year.
I mean, I'm not showing it as much, but he's thrown us into more of a rage than the other two candidates. You realize that,
I wanted to like this one! I wanted to look at this and say, all right, no, maybe I can vote for Gary Johnson, even though he's shitty public speaker. He has a good platform. He doesn't even have a fucking good platform.
I'm behind on getting these out there. I'm going to try and make it a goal to at least get this one started by the end of this weekend and have the other ones up. I don't know if... I should have the other ones up first.
You don't have to do them in order.
We don't have to, but we mention the other ones a lot.
That's
here.
Fine. It doesn't matter. I don't care. No. It's not going to make a difference. He's not going to get elected president, regardless of whether... Even if he had a really good platform, he wasn't going to get elected president. So it's a moot point. But
the people that made it happen, that made him the candidate, have to know why they were wrong. They have to know this. This
is so stupid.
And this is like we had taken so many nails out of the coffin of the libertarian movement over the past 4 decades, and this is like having him out there, being in front of people, trying to push the libertarian message is like putting several nails back into the coffin.
No, these are screws. Like you're gonna need a special tool to get them back out. They have the funny head with like the security dot in the middle. You're gonna need special drivers to get them out. And it's not just that. He also like before it was just a wood box that had nails around the rim. So like if someone was in there, they could still breathe. But he like put duct tape around that crack. So now it's just dead.
I can already picture the horror stories of the rare occasion you get someone in the media on the libertarian side, and all the responses to everything they say are some news reporter saying, "But Gary Johnson said this." Ah ha 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 ha.
No, I mean, look, CNN, and a lot of even though leftist news organizations have been giving them a lot more screen time than they did 4 years ago. That's great. Like good on the Libertarian Party for actually getting on the fucking plate, right? But he never says anything that makes him sound all that much better than the other two candidates when he really could.
Well, I mean, if he stands firmly behind everything in this platform, then I don't think he believes any of it. He says he believes. I think he says he believes it
Someone
just to convince.
Says that he believes it.
Who are they trying to convince? Me or them?
Yeah, exactly. Or are they trying to convince Gary himself? Gary, these are the things you're supposed to believe. He's like, I don't believe most of those things.
No, I think it's more like, go away, I'm high.
Whoa, man, whoa!
It's like I'm touching freedom on the walls, man.
Freedom all over my walls. Oh, can you feel it? Oh, man, I'm Gary Johnson. It's like...
And Bill Weld is the much more chill of the two.
He's like Bill Weld as vice president is like, hey look, the Senate is tied on an assault weapons ban. Whoops.
We killed it, didn't we?
I think we're done. No, this is shitty as fuck.
We could have gone halfway through and just said, you know what?
No, Gary Johnson, if you were listening to this, give me a fucking call. You can find me. You're connected in government. You know that my name is Rudy and that I live in Albuquerque. There shouldn't be that many of us here. No. I mean, I could write, but I wouldn't even have to rewrite the platforms. All I would have to do is go through and find links to hyperlink things on the platforms, and I could I wouldn't even have to change the wording of them, but by linking certain specific things, I could make it clear that Gary Johnson is pro-liberty. Whereas he doesn't sound like it now. Like, imagine if one of the words in environment was a hyperlink to Rothbard's essay on air pollution. Like, someone would look at that, they would just mouse over it, and it would say Rothbard air pollution. They'd be like, ha ha, yes!
I'm going to be angry if he gets the percentage of vote that he wants to get.
What does he want to get? 15? No, he doesn't.
Yeah, it was like 15%.
No, he doesn't even want to get 15% of the vote. He wants to get 15% of certain specific polls that aren't binding, so that he can get on the debate stage and get his fucking clock cleaned by two people who aren't on fucking brownies.
I suspect he's smarter than Donald Trump.
Oh no, he's definitely smarter than Donald Trump. He's actually been a successful
suspect that Donald
governor.
Trump will make him look like a fool.
They're smarter than Hillary Clinton, but they're not doing a very good job of telling us, are they?
Nope, not at all. This is frustration incarnate. I'm looking at a website that should just be the website dedicated to making me frustrated.
No, this website shouldn't be dedicated to making you frustrated. This website should be making you be like, hell yeah, Gary Johnson actually gets it. And here, I just see Gary Johnson... What it actually is a paean to frustrating me and you. Like
it's soul pain.
Like, it's soul pain. Like, I'm angrier looking at this than I was at either the Trump or the Clinton platforms, or even the Bernie Sanders platform. Because this one is like... Liberty is good, I think. And it's just like, it's like, is that?
No, I think it's. Is that all? I believe liberty is good.
You're gonna tell me why you think liberty is? No, I don't. Whoa! It is an entire set of it is an entire platform that doesn't have one link to one outside document anywhere in it at all, ever, at all, nothing.
Jack Stavery.
It's insane, and these people want me to vote for them. Fuck them.
Other people in the Libertarian Party want you to vote for him. You know what I call those people? Openly, right here. I don't care if they're listening. You know what I'm going to call those people? Stupid. You're stupid. You put this guy up.
This fucking platform.
He's doing nothing
for you. I got my fucking driver's license in New Mexico. I put unaffiliated for my fucking party affiliation because fuck this shit.
I feel pretty strongly about this. I think you've made it clear you feel strongly.
No,
I know that
neither of us could possibly... The limiter went off a while ago, all right? No, this is... No. And the things that I've said are less profane than this platform. I just want people to be clear. I just want people who listen to this and think, man, he's really letting out a lot of really bad, ugly words. And I'm like, no, the words that I'm saying are less ugly than the things that are on this webpage that I'm looking at. I am better than this.
This platform is biblical in its failure. I would say that there's something about something in Revelations about it, but there's nothing revealing about anything he's saying here at all, other than he's a horrible candidate for the Libertarian Party.
You know what it makes me think a little bit of is Tower of Babel.
Yes, that is probably the most apt thing.
And I don't think it's actually that... I'm looking at their pictures again, and I really don't think that Bill Weld looks that different from a pillar of salt.
Oh, let's go. Let me see. No.
he kind of has the face and figure of a pillar of salt. I'm just saying.
Like you remember when people looked at Medusa
and then Gary Johnson's there smiling at me and is like, look at my platform. It stinks. And I'm like, God damn it.
That's probably why they got him cut off at the waist. He's probably standing buck naked from the drawers down.
No, he's just like...
He's like, yeah, you like my platform?
He's got pants on. He's just like knee-deep in marijuana brownies. God, I wanted to like this. I wanted to look at it and be like, wow, he's kind of not very good at making the libertarian points succinctly and reasonably when he's on camera, but man, this platform it really changed my mind. And I'm looking at this, I'm just getting angrier and angrier and angrier, and it's just like.
Do you think it was all a calculation to not take a hard position?
No, I'm
anywhere?
sure that's what it was. Because he's like, if I actually take a hard position, people will think that I'm a crazy person. And it's like,
I was just wondering because it's making me analyze this picture more now, and it's like, is he just wearing that? It looks like it might be an iWatch or an Apple Watch or whatever they're called, and he's like got the cuff of his sleeve slightly pulled to the side so you can see it, and it's like, is this what he thinks appealing to the younger audiences? Like, check it out. I have a smartwatch.
Look at my tie. Holy shit, all the colors. Look at that. And Bill Weld's like, yeah, I have a pretty crazy tie on, too. and then Gary Johnson eats another brownie and starts rubbing Bill Weld's tie while going, whoa!
This is one of the worst political pictures I've ever seen taken, and it's all because of the way that Bill Weld is slightly leaning to the left, like he wasn't sure if he was in the shot or not.
No, Bill, it's fine. We've got a bunch of space on your other side. You're actually closer to the center of the picture than Gary Johnson is. And he's like, "Are you sure?" I'm just going to lean in a little bit more. It's like, no, you don't. You're actually leaning away from the center of the picture.
And I think Gary Johnson's squinting smiley face might be as horrifying as Hillary Clinton's wide-eyed smiling face.
I can't get John Lovitz out of my head looking at his face. Like, he just looked...
Yeah, it's not as horrifying because you can laugh at his, but when you see Hillary Clinton's, it's just like, I wouldn't want to open up my closet at night and see that.
No, that would be a bad thing. That would be bad for everybody. I also like how they have this thing to help us reach 3,000 signatures, and it's up at 2,000, but the bar is only 1/10 of the way up. So it's like someone didn't know how to calculate things there.
Well, mine is actually further up. It might be because you have your stuff turned off.
Yeah, it could be.
But I also think that it slowly was climbing after I clicked on the page.
Oh, it's one of those animated things that would show up properly if I allowed the Johnson Weld website to use scripts on my computer, which I'm not gonna fucking do.
But he didn't say he was going to end the war on drugs, and he wants me to sign to end the war on drugs. He specifically did not say he was going to end the war on drugs. He said that he would end the war on marijuana.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's great. It's so wonderful. And he's like, man, if only we could all get marijuana legally, then there wouldn't be any black market for heroin or cocaine or ecstasy or methamphetamines. Or I'm not making a very good case, am I? No, I'm not. It's like, no, the war on drugs is the problem. Stop it. Just stop it.
Like when you see someone reaching for it, slap their wrist.
Hit them with a rolled up newspaper. No.
This is real. I mean, I don't have the energy to yell as much as you because it's so disheartening.
It's really bad. Well, you're also in a place that has less acoustic isolation from your neighbors than I do.
Oh yeah, I have neighbors. I shouldn't yell in my apartment.
I have neighbors too. Well, they all moved away. I don't know why. Anyway, I think we've killed the Gary Johnson platform, if you can call it.
I am done with this.
It is so bad. I'm closing the fucking browser window.
Never going to that site again.
Oh, God, I wanted to like it so much. I wanted to read it and be like, okay, he's bad in public, but he hired somebody who knew what they were doing to write his platform out, and his planks are all good, and he's not saying...
Yeah, you know who I think he hired?
What?
Hillary Clinton, Chelsea Clinton. I think Chelsea Clinton wrote that.
It's possible. He, Bill Weld does have a lifelong friendship with Hillary.
Did he say that?
Yeah. Good kid.
There's something weird about the fact that all three candidates are interconnected like that, isn't there?
Yes. I mean, if I had a sound effect of dueling banjos, I would start that now. I don't, so just imagine it if you're listening to this.
Well, outside of that, I'm pretty sure Donald Trump is going to win, but there's still a part of me that's
I don't think Donald Trump is going to win. I don't know.
They're also interconnected that it's like...
The problem with Donald Trump is that he might, say he wins the popular vote, he'll still lose in the electoral college.
You think so, even if the popular vote is wildly in his favor?
I mean, well, the more wildly in his favor it is, but I don't... I mean... I'd have to do the math, but he could win every state that doesn't have, a really big city in it and still lose the presidency.
Yeah, I know.
If he loses, he's going to lose California, and he's going to lose New York, and he's going to lose, I mean, the only state that has a fairly large population that he'll probably win is probably Texas. He's going to lose Washington. He's going to lose D.C. He's going to lose, Vermont. He's going to lose Michigan. He's probably going to lose New Mexico. He's almost certainly going to lose Arizona. He's going to win. He's going to win probably most of the states in the South, but he's probably going to lose Florida, and he's probably going to lose. People could come out in droves. To vote for him, it wouldn't matter because he's going to lose all those blue states, and that's it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, what's that?
People's votes count, right?
Yeah, only if you're in a state. Only if you're in one of the big states. No. I mean, as I mentioned before, I would probably prefer a Trump presidency to a Hillary Clinton presidency simply because of the gun control issue.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
well, even I would prefer Trump to Hillary, but
also for the entertainment.
Like how much of a difference is that really when you get down to it?
No, there's not a whole lot of difference between them, honestly. But it's like the more I think about it, the more I read about it. It's like, yeah, I mean, even if he gets all of these states that have, I mean, like, he might win all of the states that have three electoral votes, and he might even win all the states that have 4 and 5 electoral votes. But he's not going to win any of the states that have more than 15 electoral votes, so to speak. He might win Texas.
Well, I'm not going to say that I'm horribly disappointed or anything because
it doesn't matter. It's
a train wreck no matter what.
Yeah, it's going to be a horrible train wreck regardless.
I mean, honestly, if I had to give my fully honest view of how I would take the outcome of the election, the biggest reason I'd rather see Trump win is just to see the reaction.
Oh no, that would be beautiful! Like the gnashing of teeth.
That would be the best part.
It would be amazing.
Because there's nothing good to come from him being president. There's nothing good to come from Hillary being president.
The next president will have probably 2 or 3 Supreme Court appointments in the next 4 years, and definitely in the next 8.
Like I said, there's nothing good to come from.
At least Trump put forward a list of people that was prepared for him by an organization that has fairly good ideas of what kinds of people will not extend
I remember that.
The problem was that he also said, like, right after that, he's like, I also think my daughter would be pretty good as a Supreme Court justice. And just like, stop it, you fucking moron!
Failing that, we have a dog.
Or a head of iceberg lettuce.
Actually, I wouldn't mind a head of iceberg lettuce.
I think that you could probably replace 95 to 100% of government bureaucrats with heads of iceberg lettuce, and the outcome would probably be positive. In the long run. Probably. In the short run, there'd be chaos, but it would...
They might be too smart then.
too smart and too active?
Yeah. I mean, even if Hillary wins and appoints horrible Supreme Court nominees, the states could just ignore the Supreme Court. They have the right to do that. They have the power to do that.
I'm sorry,
they could just do that, hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, like they did with abortion.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the advantage is, the thing is that there aren't a lot of Second Amendment cases that make it to the Supreme Court. Now, you have to remember that Heller and McDonald were 2 cases in the last 5 years or so, 6 or 7 years, and before that there wasn't really anything for a few decades. So it might be okay, but I mean, it doesn't matter because, like, I mean, look, the European Union economy is going to go down the shitter in the next couple decades, no matter what they do. Japan is going to have an economic freakout at some point. And the U.S. is only a couple decades behind that, and I mean, whether or not you can own an AR-15 is not really that big a deal when you're trying to scrounge for a can of creamed corn somewhere. I mean, like,
right?
If we keep holding interest rates artificially low, we're going to have some kind of horrible freaking economic downturn eventually. And, defending yourself from government isn't going to be the issue then. It's going to be defending yourself from... It's going
hungry people.
Well, not just... No, it's not even that. Because, like, the government will probably... take command of a bunch of things. I mean, everybody's going to be at odds, and there's not a whole lot that's going to be able to be done about it. The only thing that can be done is flee the country, basically. I don't know. I mean,
and to where?
This is speculation, right? But it's going to be an interesting couple of decades.
Interesting.
Yes, in the Chinese sense.